The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ, according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord Christ.
Now before the festival of the Passover, Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart from this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The devil had already put it into the heart of Judas, son of Simon Iscariot, to betray him. And during supper, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going to God, got up from the table, took off his outer robe, and tied a towel around himself. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wash them with the towel that was tied around him. He came to Simon Peter, who said to him, "Lord, are you now going to wash my feet?" Jesus answered, "You do not know now what I am doing, but later you will understand." Peter said to him, "You will never wash my feet." Jesus answered, "Unless I wash you, you have no share with me." Simon Peter said to him, "Lord, then not my feet only, but also my hands and my head." Jesus said to him, "One who is bathed does not need to wash except for the feet, but is entirely clean. And you are clean, though not all of you." For he knew who was to betray him. For this reason he said, "Not all of you are clean." After he had washed their feet, he put on his robe and had returned to the table. He said to them, "Do you know what I have done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you are right, for that is what I am. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have set you an example, that you also should do as I have done to you. Very truly I tell you, servants are not greater than their master, nor are messengers greater than those who sent them. If you know these things, you are blessed if you do them. Now the Son of Man has been glorified, and God has been glorified in him. If God has been glorified in him, God will glorify him in himself, and will glorify him at once. Little children, I am with you only a little longer. You will look for me, and as I said to the Jews, so I now say to you, where I am going, you cannot come. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you should love one another. By this, everyone will know you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
Please be seated.
What will I do now? Who will take care of me?
Here, Mary. You heard what he said. You're my responsibility now. I will take care of you.
I know, but did you see his face? He was in such agony.
Yes, I saw. He was a brave man.
And did you see the faces around him? They enjoyed his suffering.
Mary, please, come and sit down. It's been a long night, and you're exhausted. Perhaps you should eat something.
This is the place. This is the place where you...
Yes, this is where we ate the Passover meal together for the last time.
This is where he sat.
Mary, please, come and sit down.
I always thought of Passover as a happy time.
I know. It was before.
Even as a child, my mother would let me help prepare the paschal lamb and the unleavened bread.
Yes. To celebrate the passing over of the death angel.
This didn't have to happen this way, did it, John?
Mary, I've wondered about that. But it is what the Father willed it to be.
Did my son know that this would be his last Passover?
Oh, yes.
Do you think
he knew. He had been preparing us for months, and I didn't understand it until last night.
Last night was different?
Oh, yes.
How?
Last night was very different. He took the bread, and he blessed it, and then he broke it. And he said, "This is my body, broken for you."
He knew.
Oh, yes. He knew. And then he took the cup, and he blessed it. And he said, "This is my blood, shed for you, for the forgiveness of sin."
But this didn't have to happen this way, did it, John? You could have stopped it.
Mary, how? How could I have stopped it?
Tell me what happened in the garden.
You do not want to hear.
Oh, but I do. Please, tell me.
Well, we went to Gethsemane.
Why? It's so dark there at night.
Well, we had been there many times. He took us there he taught us there. But last night, he went there to pray.
And?
Well, we went into the garden a little ways, and then he stopped. And he asked us to watch and pray. And then he went deeper into the darkness.
Alone?
Yes. And then he told us to wait.
You, James, and Simon, where were the others?
Oh, they'd gone home.
So he went into the darkness to pray.
Yes. And we waited, and we waited. And it was so still. Total silence. You couldn't hear a bird or cricket chirping.
And then what happened?
Well, he came back several times, but we had fallen asleep.
You fell asleep?
Well, it had been a long day, and he had so much to tell us. But we were exhausted.
What did he say?
Well, I thought he'd be angry when he came back the last time because we had fallen asleep again, but all he said was, "The time has come."
The time had come for what?
Well, and then we heard a crowd approaching, a large crowd, and soldiers, and Judas.
Judas was with the soldiers?
Oh, yes. And he walked up to Jesus and he kissed him. And then the soldiers grabbed Jesus.
But didn't you try to stop them?
Well, we couldn't. He told us not to. I mean, we tried. Peter tried. Peter drew his sword.
Peter had a sword? You're not violent men.
I know, but he said he needed the sword to protect Jesus. But then Peter struck one of the people that was with the soldiers, and he cut off his ear.
Oh.
But then Jesus put it back. Just like that. He put it back. Jesus healed his ear. And then he cautioned us. He said, those that live by the sword will die by the sword.
He would. He always hated any kind of human suffering, except for his own. And then what happened?
Well, then they took him away, and you know the rest.
You let them take him, you, his friends.
Mary, please. There were so many of them and so few of us. I mean, I know I should have done more. But Jesus looked at me. He looked right at me, and he shook his head as if to warn me to do nothing.
I can't believe it. Now he's dead. My son is dead. Surely there must have been another way. I remember the first time Joseph and I took Jesus to the temple. He was just a tiny baby. And then the time we left him at the temple, he was so insistent
Please.
that he must be about his Father's work.
Please, Mary.
And this is God's will.
Please.
And now he is dead, soon to lie in a cold tomb.
But Mary, he promised.
Mary! I just saw some soldiers. They were headed towards the hill. Maybe they've been sent to guard the tomb.
Oh, maybe they will steal his body. Oh, John, what can we do?
Nothing now. I'll go and find out what's happening. Will you be all right?
Mary, do you remember what he said?
About what?
He said he would rise again on the third day. Don't you remember?
But, Mary, you saw him. He is dead.
He told so many stories. I wonder if this was one of his parables? I don't know what to believe.
So much was promised in the beginning. The angel spoke to me. He spoke to Joseph. I never thought it would end this way.
John, what did you find out?
It's true. They've posted guards by the tomb, and they've rolled this huge stone over the front, and his body will be safe.
We should go there and anoint him.
Not tonight. The Sabbath has started, and we must wait. Tomorrow, you can go and do what you must do.
What are you hiding, John?
It's nothing. It's nothing, really.
Oh, it is.
Mary.
Show me, John.
It must have fallen from his head when they took him down.
Give it to me.
No, Mary, you mustn't.
Give it to me. I want it.
You mustn't. There's blood.
I don't care. Give it to me. My son. Joseph, my husband. If only you were here.
Come, tomorrow together we will prepare his body. But John, what do you think?
What do you mean?
Will he rise again? Can he rise again?
He said he would, and we must believe it.